Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back here today for another Kickstarter critique where I take a look at a different Kickstarter project every single weekday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Give my honest thoughts on how the project is being ran. And today we're actually on Gamefound checking out Statera. Become a leader of Statera Nation, or a powerful god, fight for territory, balance your believers, gather soul, and experience all of Statera's stories. I would love to know the player count, the time length, and the age, and people on Gamefound are particularly bad about this. Look at this. Not here, not here, not here, not on any of these. Do I know the player length, the time count, the age, scrolling down? Do I have it on any of them? That's a bit annoying, and I wonder if that's because they feel like they're so tightly confined by the square as opposed to the rectangle. That's honestly why I wanted to spotlight this, because I feel like they did a good job spotlighting their components in this right here, because I see this interesting looking scale right here, and I'm intrigued about the game. I'd still love to know more about it, but I guess I know it's solo, so hey, whatevs. And once again, it's Gamefound, so there's no real competition. This isn't ranked. Like on Kickstarter, there's a popularity chart, not so much on here. As always, when we go in the video, I'm thinking three things. Do I want it? Can you do it? How much is it? Let's go. Fat board games.
In the beginning, the gods created the land, the sky, and even the Staterans.
Wow.
But there was a struggle between the gods, and they needed to resolve their differences. After endless quarrel, they decided that if Staterans die, their souls must cross one of the bridges to the empire of their god. To know who is more powerful, they built giant scales at their gathering place, and since then, the gods compare their powers.
That artwork.
Choose the
Hey,
story
stuff.
you want to play, set up the game map, and enjoy a tale from the lands of Statera in this double-asymmetric game. In these stories, you can play for one of four
Wait,
factions.
I wanted to see that stuff. That was the good stuff, not the story. I don't give a damn about your story for the first 40 seconds. I want to see what was on that card. I want to see this giant scale. Like, I did not get the proper size of the scale in that main image. Because, wow, that's a big one.
Game. In these stories,
What is double asymmetric? Look at that. New birth. So this looks good. This looks like a great little player area here. It gives me like what is it? Vast vibes. Very good vibes to have.
you can play for one of four factions. The two nations,
Wow, those player boards too. Let's just rewind right there. Those player boards look very different from one another. Like this one's going like this. That gets me even more excited about this game. That last ooh, okay. Back to here.
realms. Three mighty dragons and their gods and fight fearlessly.
Where were we? I think we were on the 1 minute mark. Here we go.
The
All
two
right.
nations,
Asymmetric.
Trumpas or Fawns, who move, build, and fight all over the land of Statera, and who believe in their gods and fight fearlessly for their faith.
Now I'm getting root
The
vibes.
two factions of the gods must rely on, well, believers. Three mighty dragons and small mischievous pharaohs send emissaries to Statera to build temples and lure believers of their faith and gather souls into their
Wow.
realms. The balance means everything. In the end, the mightier is the one with the most souls on the scales. Back now and put your soul on the scales of the game Statera.
See, I feel like that's a good shot. I feel like that gives me the proper size of that scale, whereas the main image on the original did not. We'll check that out in a second. This game looks good, Mr. Mormo says. Yeah, I agree. It looks like a really interesting game. It's giving me vibes of a lot of other games that I have really enjoyed. Yeah, like, so I don't know. Like, next to the box, it looks a lot, I don't know. It just didn't convey, I think, quite the size of that, because that's a big one. That's a big scale. 84.53. All right, 1 to 4 players, 60 minutes, ages 14 plus. Now, Fat Board Games, what have they done before? Let's see. Nothing on Gamefound. Let's see if there's anything on Kickstarter. Are they a first-timer? Period. Statera from Fat Board Games, first-time publisher, first-time designers. Okay, first-time publisher, first-time designers. Good to know, because I was curious about that. Wow, 30 to 150 minutes to play. Dang. All right, so let's get back in here. So after the video, do I want it? I'm very interested. I want to see a rule booklet, see a gameplay video, but I think we're on the right path. 1 to 4 players enter the world of Statera and enjoy its stories. Double asymmetric games with the real scales. Real scale, like an actual scale. Double asymmetric. I don't know what that means, but it gets me excited. Story-based gameplay lets you choose the length of the game and gives you a lot of replayability. Wow. I don't know, that video just didn't give me story game vibes. Maybe it's just me, but I did not get story game vibes out of that video. A unique game with some cool features I haven't seen before. I'm excited to try out all the different ways to play. Yeah? It's unique. I'm excited to try out all the different modes. I guess that's good that there's different game modes and they play good. I so rarely find a game that is strategically this involved that has such great table talk. Okay. $84.53. That's a hefty price. I get it. It's because of this. And because it's the... Oh, this is the exclusive edition, aka the deluxe edition. Then there's the base edition, $60. All right. 138 people have taken the exclusive edition. 4 people have taken the base pledge. So nobody wants that, so that's good. Looks like 2 players are God and 2 are devotees. Is it? Devotees. Statera core game. All right. So we get the core game. Double asymmetric games. You've used that buzzword a lot. I don't have the full list of components here. I'd like that. That'd be nice. Going back into it. All unlocked stretch goals. Which this one, that's the other thing. This one is not doing so well. I think it is nowhere near funding. I think it is. Yeah, 13,000. Now, granted, it just launched, I think, like less than a week ago. But it's typical that if you're not within like a certain threshold, I don't remember what it is. I used to be way more in the know on that sort of thing. If you don't get to like 60% by day 2 or something like that, your chances of succeeding go down exponentially or something amongst those lines. And I don't think it's here because we're not even a third of the way there. 28%. Oh, there's a number there. Makes it way easier. So that immediately makes me think of like looking at this with some fresh eyes and saying, what are they probably going to need to do different in the relaunch? Because this one does not look like it's probably trending towards funding. Does this have a Gamefound bar? I don't. I have a Kickstarter bar that tells me the kick track trending towards, but not that. All right, so I do like the fact the videos are clickable here. That's nice. Exclusive pledge, the base pledge. All right, back to the exclusive. So the dual layer player boards. Ooh. This picture is a preview. I can't, okay. I can barely even tell that's dual layered. Okay, that's nice though. That's nice. What else is here? Oh my gosh, this is so frustrating. I have to do it like this. How do I just want to click on it and then all unlock stretch goals. Oh, this is the base pledge. The wooden scales. What's the dimension? How tall is this? How many inches and centimeters is that? Oh, it is normally 11 something extra on the side. Okay. So that's just going to be something that I'm getting in addition to the game. So pretty much I'm buying, there's the game, and then there's all the knickknacks and the paddywhacks, all the fancy stuff. Dual layer player boards, already talked about those. Golly, it's so frustrating. First player tokens, round counter, mini expansion. Ooh, what's this? Is a 2-player, fast-paced, 30-minute story. It features the, cool. Yeah. So it looks so much like Vast and Oath. And it's like these really complex, asymmetric games that like Vast, if you've never played it. This was my game of the year a couple years back. But every player had their own rule booklet they had to read at the beginning of the game to understand specifically how their character worked, in addition to you having to read the main rule booklet. Like, and then I get like it's also like a 30-minute story game vibe. Like, I don't know, that video just didn't, I don't know. I'm not seeing the story, I guess, is my issue here. 2 new battle cards. Okay. Cardboard upgrade to this, so it's nicer. Fulfillment discount. There's 1,000 backers. We promised to cover 5% of the fulfillment price. Oh, that's cool. That's a nifty one. Love that. Love the fact that Gamefound allows you to do stuff like that, where they have mixed pledges of not only can we do how much it was raised, but how many backers you have. Once again, just a feature I'd love to see Kickstarter just steal. Just take it. Like, take the idea. It's not unethical. You're doing it for your customers. The beginning of, because Gamefound, like, they do a lot of these really great stuff right here. The beginning of Statera, the gods created the thing. Statera's stories give players a lot of replayability and modular game maps. And that's the other thing too. When you showed me the modular game map, it was really unimpressive. Now that I'm looking back at this with a slightly more critical eye, seeing as how this one is not probably launched the way they were hoping to, like I was like, oh, it looked the exact same when you flipped it over. Read the lore in the first update. There are not only different factions, but also different types of games in this universe. What does that mean? I wish you would, like, clarify a little bit more. He said, oh, there's different games set up. But what is that? It's like one capture the flag, one cooperative, one versus all where someone's been corrupted. Like, and maybe you don't want to spoil those surprises, but I kind of need to know those. I would like to know those. What's in the box? Composable scales, 200 millimeters, cardboard for... Oh, so they do have the dimensions. I'd also convert that to inches, because I imagine the majority of the people backing this are from the United States of America. That's just typically how it goes when I look at the numbers on Kickstarter. 4 player boards, plus 2 sanctuary tokens. So this is... this is the full list of components now. Got it. But this is the deluxe, right? This is the... If I'm buying the deluxe thing... Because you don't get scales in the regular one, do you? Am I getting scales in both of them? I thought I had to get the exclusive pledge to get the... Oh, so these are cardboard scales. These are wooden scales. Oh, they're fancier scales. I got it. 124 wooden pieces. Ooh, that looks cool. Combine the temple markers. Great. Look at that. That's good stuff. I feel like we need to lead with more of this. And you did that at the beginning. Like, I remember I was like, oh, this looks great right here. That main image. I think it's that video. It didn't... I don't know. I still don't quite get what kind of game this is, I think. Rule booklet for each faction. A book of stories from Statera, comprehensive rule booklet, 4 handy A6 easy-to-learn rule booklets, 1 for each faction. So yeah, I'm definitely getting the vast vibes here. But you're trying to sell me the stories. How many pages in this book one storybook? When I checked out Witchbound, this one. Oh god, this game looks good right here. But it did a great job spotlighting 200 pages. And I don't know if you have nearly that many pages, but that was just... Like, I would like to know how many stories there are. All right, and so once again, we got the millimeters. I'd like to see the inches. And then I see these boards, and they look very samey. It's like, oh, here's rocks. And there's more rocks. There's some grass with rocks around it. There's some grass with rocks around it. But if you flip it over, you can see there's a bush. Not to be confused with the fountain. Like, I don't know. It just... I get it. It adds way more gameplay, but it just... It underwhelmed me, which was surprising because the artwork I thought was something that was really a strong point of this game. But the board just looks kind of blah. I don't know, and maybe you can't have that much intricate details based on the theme of the game or something. I don't know. I'm just trying to pinpoint some stuff where I was like, why isn't this hitting the mark quite with everybody? It's got everything I want in a game, fantastic art, cool components, and a fun strategic puzzle. Oh, so it's a puzzly style game. I had no idea about that. Other than that, that quote's short, how to play. Select a story and set up the game map. Okay. Yeah, like this was from the video. This is both straight from the video, and I see this, and I'm like, it doesn't look that much different to me. Then we got the cards. The cards are good. Did you ever tell me how many cards I actually get in the game? Like, I know I click on it, but I was like, where was it down here? No, this was... Or wait, you haven't told me cards. No. This is what's in the box. Unique art on cards for each faction. 35 cards in total. Oh, that's not many. That's not many. Okay. It's a little error on my sales there, not going to lie there. And I wonder if that's something where we were going to hit stretch goals and get more cards. Because I remember there was 2 cards in a stretch goal. And I'm saying, dang, that's a big chunk of the cards. That's like 1/9 of the cards. Is that the math right? No, that math's way off. 1/18th? I don't know. Rules are hard. Rule books! Also hard. Hopefully they crushed it. Book 1 stories. What do I got here? 7 pages. Okay. Game phases. What is this? This is interesting. I was expecting like theme there. Book 2 fonts. First draft. Work in progress. Commandments of Gods. PDF. I just want the rule booklet. Which one's just the rule booklet? Key terms and concepts. Are these all the different rule booklets for the different... this is better than not having anything. Let's go there. Let's say that. It's just... I'm not quite seeing the rule booklet, quote unquote, which is what I would like to see here, especially when it says rule booklet. Well, it actually just says rule book. I apologize. The fans already prepared PL and French translation. Now that is hot. Is it the Commandments of the Gods? Is that it? Let me. No, that's just the 9 pages. That's not it. Okay. So yeah, that concerns me a little bit more. Once again, the can you do it? First time company. First time, because here's the other thing. I think I immediately see what we potentially do for this relaunch, which is we get rid of a lot of the crap we don't need. What's up, Brandon? I think they're trying to rip off Root and be cute with the rules reference book name. Ah. I definitely got Root vibes. So I couldn't doubt that at all. But once again, I see, hey, here's the game. And if this was just the game, and then all this extra stuff wasn't here, would this be funded? I don't know. Because the bottom line is, I'm trying to get to $84. And I don't know, I'm just not seeing it quite yet. Launch day. So they launched, oh no, it just launched today. It just launched today? What? No, it didn't. What? I could have swore I saw it. Riff off, not rip off. Okay. I could have swore I saw this a couple days ago. Gamefound's so damn confusing. Maybe I did see it a couple days ago. Okay, so maybe it's not doing nearly as poor as I thought. I'd been up for I thought it would have been up for a week. I do apologize for that. So they got giveaway with Clackalope. So they got stuff, things planned, live streams on launch days and final day. Shipping, $20. Exclusive pledge, 22. So I'm up to 106. Ooh. And let's just say I just want the regular one, which I know only 4 people wanted to get. But what was it? The base pledge, it was $60, and I'm looking at $80. That's rough. Launched 3 hours ago. Yeah, I do apologize to the designers of that. I thought that we were doing a Gamefound autopsy here, where it's like, why is this thing going to fail? I will say, I think everything I said was still stand by. Like, I don't feel like I have a firm grasp of what the hell this game is. And that makes it really hard for me to just want to drop 106 on this, especially with no track record, no pedigree, and just a base game that's $82, and I don't feel the premiumness of it. I don't, like, how many extra, I feel like one thing that could really help here is letting me know how many games are in this. Like, I know that you can set it up and disassemble it. Like, if there's 30 campaign, if there are 30 missions, or 20 missions, or 10 missions, or 15 missions, whatever the number of missions there are. And then by doing that, you also get me more excited about stretch goals, because then it's like, oh, we got a whole extra mission. This is adding a big chunk to the game. I just don't feel like I know enough about that stuff. And maybe it's interweaved in with all these videos, which is great, but it needs to be on the actual main page. So what is this? This is preview. No, thank you. Preview, no thank you. Overview, preview. Longer one, do like that. Okay. Just looking for the gameplay. Game setup.
Hello and welcome.
No thank you. Okay, cool. There's a full gameplay.
I'm gonna take.
Awesome. That's what I want to see. Different languages and stuff. Good stuff to have there. Why back now? About us. People, stuff. Thank you. Publisher's pledge. Got it. Stretch pay. Board Game Geek. All right. Let's give this one a final grade. Let's check out the update. There's going to be no updates or comments yet. I'm curious about the comments. When you make it the second round of German version, it's possible to buy only the cards in the storybook. We're still at the beginning of the first round. Do you think you'll have special card sleeves available for the game? Oh, interesting idea. We'll discuss that with Panda. We're live streaming on Facebook. Looks good. Too bad there's hardly any content being found on YouTube. I want to see how this game plays. There are lots of live streams on our channel. You can check those out. And on the page, you can find videos from reviewers from all over the world. That right there, that's exactly what I'm talking about there. I want to see how this game is played. And you have a whole bunch of gameplay videos, but you just don't have the one. Like, where it's like, hey, here's the game. But, like, the video and what I saw versus what you told me just didn't seem to cross wires. And when that happens, I'm like, man, $106 or $80 if I'm just getting the base one. What's the plan? Release date? It says January 2024 in the pledge levels. I will say they're doing some good customer service here. Philip is in there. He's also in the chat here too, which is cool. On the page, it talks about the story and how it will define the number of players required. So does that mean the whole game can't be played at certain player counts? I know the expansion says it's made for only for 2 players, But if the story, for example, requires 4 players for one, 3 players for another, and 2 players for yet another, that will be inconvenient for some players. I can't imagine that's the way it is. But man, I love how Gamefound has this hashtag system. Getting jiggly. Like it. Put your own name in there. I'll thumbs that up. I can't because I'm not... Okay, whatever. You start this game by selecting a story scenario. The story is for a certain number of players, and yes, you can't play that exact story in different number of players. We already have 1 story for 4 players, 1 for 3 players, 3 for 2 players, and 1 for 1 player. We will definitely want more of those. So this is where, yeah, now I'm starting to see some of the stuff that I was hoping I wouldn't see, and I understand why you don't want to show it, but it's kind of important. We definitely want some of those. So there's 4 players, 2, 5, so there's 6 missions here. 1 which is solo, 1 which is 4-player. Thanks for the play. I don't imagine this game works well with each player playing 2 factions, each as it's not really a co-op. Unfortunately, that means that the game is out for us. We would want to play the whole game, and normally that means 2 players on our channel. Another game, On Mars, did the same thing with their last expansion. Every game was different and played at different counts, meaning you couldn't play the whole thing with less. There's no story where the player plays for 2 factions each. Check out the video from there. Thanks, I understand that, but certainly, yeah, so that kind of turns me off as well. Very restricted player count, which is good and bad. I mean, it's good because it means you're like, yeah, it doesn't work at 3 players. Like, what do you want us to do? Like, it's just, which means that hopefully it works really well at 4 players. But that's a big turnoff, you know. Interesting. And then there's a solo one. Is that in the middle? Is that an optional one? Does that mean that these are not interconnected? How does that all work? And once again, I'm left with even more questions about it than answers. So, and it's already up to 29% funded. Great. So this one's looking like it's gonna do it. But final grade for me. Do I want it? Not a missions. It is a strategic game like Root. You can't imagine it like setups for Root. It's a strategic, like, okay, I thought it was more like a story-based thing. Like, there's been certain parts where I thought it was story, which seemed like it was so different. I don't know. Do I want it? It looks okay. It gives me vibes of other games. Other very, very, very spectacular games. Yeah. How much is it? That's a hard sell for me. At the $100 price point or the $80 price point. But luckily there is a gameplay video, they said, so I would 100% watch that gameplay video. I'd love to see more of the rules. I'd love to see an actual rule booklet instead of whatever all the a la carte things are, because that's just not, it's not helpful. I'd love to see more clarification on what the game is, honestly. Like, that's the big thing. So do I want it? Yeah, kind of. How much is it? Not really. Can you do it? I have definite concerns just whenever I see a first-time publisher and they take this big of a bite, because once again, they're not just making the game. They're making the game. They're making, what is it? All the extra add-ons, the knickknacks, and the paddywhacks. They're getting the big scale. Now, the big scale, for all I know, that might be an Alibaba mass market style thing, which is totally fine. Because honestly, that's great, because then you just make it's straight cash, homie. Like, that's good stuff. But then it's like you got the player coin or whatever it is. Let me see, where was it? The exclusive pledge. So how do I click on it? So you have the wooden scales, the round counter, the dual-layered player board, the first player token, and a mini expansion. So we're not just making one thing. We're making 2 things, 3 things, 4 things, 5 things, 6 things. And I imagine Panda's going to lump them all into one thing. But it's just the more moving parts in a Kickstarter operation, the more likely one of them is going to, get caught on something. And that's how a lot of games, Kickstarter games in particular, sometimes will be like, oh, there was just this one thing. Like, we had 3 separate artists, and this one artist held up the whole thing. Or there's always something. And then, yeah, it's here. So it's story-based. Like, there's the thing. I see the story-based. I see this 1 to 4 players, but then it's not actually always 1 to 4 players. It's 1 mission is 1 player, which, by the way, as a solo gamer is incredibly disappointing when I hear that. That immediately turns me off. Especially when I don't know enough about that, and I don't feel like it was spotlighted that well. So can you do it? How much is it? Do I want it? Yeah. I'm going to go with I do love that main image, though. Damn, I love that main image. I don't like the description at all. I think the description's blah. But use it. But then the scales, I don't even feel like the scales were... We already have prices for manufacturing, shipping, fulfillment. Put out the actual funding goal. Yes, we can do it. Yeah, you did put out the actual funding goal, which is great. That's good. Like, that's good stuff. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Rooting for it. I'm always rooting for it. End of the day, do I want a Katie to? It's a C minus for me. I think. I feel like I don't know what I'm getting into here, and yes, I can dig through everything to find it. But ideally, I cover games all the time, and I don't feel like I have to do that. And then the first time pedigree concerns me a little bit because this looks like a really ambitious game. I would watch one of those videos, honestly. But let me know in the comments below what's your final grade for Statera. And as always, if you enjoyed the content, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below. As I'm trying to reach 17,000 subscribers in 2023 to make my biggest year ever. But have a great day. Bye-bye.